Hey everyone, Staci, Wallace here with another episode of Warrior DNA, where we are raising up leaders who have ridiculous faith and uncompromising courage to make life better for many. I am so excited about today because we are going to talk about 1, 2, 3, BAM. Has everything to do with this Disney fishing pole, and it has everything to do with the results that you're seeing in your life and in your business. You know, our greatest desire is to use this Warrior DNA for you every single week so that you can hit the reset button, attack your next week with a sense of clarity, a sense of purpose, a sense of really identifying what you want and then how to go after getting it. When you hit the reset button, it means that you forget what happened yesterday unless you're going to learn from it. Let it go. If it was negative, leave it in the past, chew up the meat and spit out the bones. In other words, extract what you can make good out of it and leave the rest behind so that you can move forward into this week, which is, I believe, going to be your best week so far. Now, this week, before we get started, I just want to say, first off, thank you to all of you guys who've been buying the Mission Possible book and online study. It's been going fantastic. We're already getting so many testimonies of people that are writing in, telling us what's happening, things just remarkably happening in people's lives, restored homes, restored marriages, actually people getting healed. It's amazing. Today we're going to talk about how important it is for you to do what you can do right now so you can begin to see different results tomorrow. I wanted to first off announce our like and share winner. Like and share winner is Veronica Birkenstock. For this week, that means that she liked the post. She's been sharing it with her friends. I want to encourage you guys to do that. But let me just tell you a little bit about Veronica. Veronica is actually running for Congress, House of Representatives, and we are so excited right here in Frisco, Texas. Huge shout out to Veronica. We love you. We're believing the best for you. I love it when ordinary people decide to accept a calling or a mandate in the marketplace in order to make change happen. You know, I always say that you can't change the world around you, but you can change the world within you. And when the world within you changes, you begin to see solutions for the world around you. Veronica is a great example of that. Someone who has allowed things to surface and change on the inside of her. She saw a need, she recognized it, and then she decided not only to find the need in the marketplace, she wasn't just somebody that sat around and complained about it, but she's a marketplace evangelist, a marketplace leader, somebody who sees the need and then goes out and says, well, if nobody else is going to do it, I'm going to do it. And there she is running for Congress. We're so excited. Congratulations, Veronica. We're excited about that. Now, you're probably wondering, what is this little Barbie fishing pole all about? Well, believe it or not, you guys know I love to fish. I'm just not your average fisher girl. I'm not like Barbie does fishing once in a while. I love fishing. I like freshwater fishing. I like trout fishing. I like deep sea fishing. I've caught gigantic blue marlin fish, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds. I've caught sailfish and tuna, and I love fishing. And it's something that I've decided that I was going to pass on to my children. Now, the reason why this is real important, because today your ability to 1, 2, 3, BAM is going to be very important, not only for your results, but it's going to be important for what you duplicate to others. Now, this pole represents my son's fishing career. He probably wouldn't want me to tell you that it's an actual Barbie pole. But the Barbie pole, when he was a little boy, he didn't care if it was pink, and he didn't care that it said Disney Princess on it. You get a little older. He's 17 now. Probably wouldn't want me telling all his friends this, but that's okay. But when he was little, I taught him how to fish. More importantly, my Father, who's now in heaven, taught him the 5 principles of a great fisherman. And it really didn't matter so much about your equipment, although that is a very important thing that you have. You attack the water. That's what we're going to talk about today, because Peyton is by far the most, I don't know if you say blessed, lucky, skilled fisherman in our family. And it's hard for me to give up that title, but I have to tell you, he has a perspective of fishing, or a perspective of catching, like nobody else in our family. We've seen it over and over and over again. He has this principle, and it's called the 1, 2, 3, BAM principle. I'm going to tell it to you today because it will help you build a life and business you love, a family you love, a job you love, a team you love. Now, here's what 1, 2, 3, BAM stands for. Now, let me just tell you the story first before I tell you what our acronym today is. 1, 2, 3, BAM is basically what my son would do when he was a little boy. He would walk out, he'd have his little Disney princess case and his Disney princess pole, which really wasn't his, it was his sister, but his sister didn't like fishing. He didn't want to use his Buzz Lightyear one for some reason. He liked this one. So he would go out there and he would just literally would walk up to the water of the lake and he would just look at the lake and he would go 1, 2, 3, BAM. And then he would cast the line out into the water and lo and behold, he would do the 1, 2, 3, BAM and BAM, he would catch a fish. He would reel it in and we would be fishing right beside him and not catching fish. And he would giggle and he'd think it was so funny. And then he would look at us. He'd go, "Want me to do it again, Mommy?" And we'd go, "Do it again, Peyton." And he'd go, 1, 2, 3, BAM. And he would throw it out there with full expectancy that he was catching a fish and he'd catch another fish. Now, he would do this over and over again. And then eventually I was like, all right, God, are you going to always do that? Because is he always going to catch every time he says BAM? So as he got older, sometimes he would catch and sometimes he wouldn't. So he'd have to also learn about consistency. You know, that it's not just going to happen every time, but you never give up the 1, 2, 3, BAM mentality. I'm going to talk about it here in just a second. Well, he took that into hunting. So whether or not you like hunting, you know, we're Texans. So we hunt, we carry guns, and we love eating animals that we kill. And so we're not vegetarians. And for those of you who are vegetarians and you're like hating on me right now, I get it. I understand. Just write it off to we were brainwashed as Texans that that's just what you do. Anyhow, so he would go out and he would go hunting and same thing. He would be sitting up in the tree stand and he would be up there and basically dial in the deer, sitting for hours and hours, and all of a sudden, sitting up in the tree stand, you know, they have the foam on the inside, he would be like turning little knobs. And my husband, honey, who was it y'all were hunting with when? Oh, Joe Shannon, yeah. So they went out hunting. Hey, shout out Joe Shannon. So you can like attest to this. So Joe Shannon and Larry and Peyton are in this tree stand. Well, Peyton's just not one just to wait forever and nothing happened. He decided that he was going to dial in the deer. They had been out there, for a couple of days and nothing, saw nothing. So Peyton says, 1, 2, 3, BAM. He dials in the deer and Joe's like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Oh, I'm just dialing in the deer." And lo and behold, like just within a few minutes, deer start to show up. Now, I'm sharing that with you today because as silly and cute as it is, it's become his foundation of faith that he believes in business, in life, in relationships. You have to identify, see what you want to take place. In other words, you have a visualization of it. Then you have to say 1, 2, 3, BAM. You have to speak to the mountain, and then you have to receive it in your heart, not wait for it, but really receive it even before you see it. So that's become his perspective. I would lose stuff around. I remember one time I lost a pen, and everybody looked. We looked in all the bags. We looked everywhere. It was a very expensive pen. And Peyton just said, "Well, what are you looking for?" And we said, "Well, we're looking for this pen, but we've looked everywhere." He goes, "Did you look in your purse?" We looked in the purse. "Did you look in?" And he goes, "Okay, just a minute. I'll go get it." And in his mind, he has this belief that anything is possible. He has this belief that, well, even though it may not have worked for you, that doesn't mean it won't work for me. So he attacks life with a 1, 2, 3, BAM mentality. And of course, he goes upstairs, he finds the pen. Like, I'm like, "Did you have it hidden the whole time?" He says, "No, Mom, it was in your purse." Well, we all looked in my purse. How could it suddenly show up in my purse? Well, you call it whatever you will. I believe that there is an ability to manifest. I believe that's part of the natural, supernatural correlation in your business between 3 things. Number 1 is your belief system. What do you believe? 1, 2, 3, BAM. You've got to believe that you're going to have success in your business. You know, when people start to wonder or people start to get what I call shiny object syndrome in their business, it's because their belief level has changed. Actually, Hebrews 11 verse 1 says, faith is the substance of things hoped for, right? So actually, I wrote something here, and this is my very first Bible. Guys, it's really, really cute here. It's got little pictures all the way through it. And all the way through it are examples. The only pictures in this Bible are BAM pictures. Pictures of guys like little David. Can y'all see that? Little David who had they won't kill the Goliath. I will. 1, 2, 3, BAM, right? A BAM mentality means that you have belief, that you have the ability to announce it. I mean, David announced to Goliath, I'm about to take you out. And then an ability to manifest what you're believing. I'm going to show you how this rolls out. But I just wrote a couple of little verses here down. In Hebrews 11, I actually wrote out what the Message Bible says. Faith is the confidence that what you're hoping for will happen. Now, a few weeks ago in Warrior DNA, I talked about vision and the importance of having a clarity of vision. In fact, my definition of a vision is having a picture of the future that's so clear that it holds your attention even in the midst of adversity. So some of you right now, I know you're going through challenges. I've had a number of you call me, private message me. Obviously, these types of messages, they don't get posted on public walls. But privately letting me know, you got feels like all hell is breaking out against you, breaking out against your business. You're trying to figure out what in the world is going on. Sometimes it is the very opposition that you're going through while you're believing for something that draws you to another level. It draws you out of obscurity into a place where your greatest days can happen. I've got some friends right now, they're going through turmoil. They're wondering what's going to happen with their life. And what I know is that place of insecurity or that place of opposition is going to draw out of them something that they need for their next level. I mean, I just happened to open up that picture of little David and Goliath, right? What was it? David was sitting, he was taking care of the sheep, and all of a sudden an opposition, a giant, something that seems so threatening. Maybe it's a disease, maybe it's your business, maybe you've been getting no after no after no. Maybe you've had challenges in your business, and I'm speaking to you personally. I've had challenges in areas of our business where I'm like, what on earth is going on? And then all of a sudden, instead of getting caught up in the opposition, you say, what is this drawing out of me? What is it that I still need to draw out of me so that I can go to the next level? And I believe that's what happened with David. There was a time and a place that was awaiting his next season. So faith is the substance of things hoped for. It's the belief system. Now, what happens when we believe? It's when we have a concept. Let me just write this down here. This is where everything is in conceptual form. You have a concept of what you want in your business. You have a vision that's very, very clear. Here's a good definition of that scripture, Hebrews 11, verse 1 is, it's actually Proverbs 29. Yeah, without vision, people perish is what the scripture says. Here's my definition. This is the paraphrase Staci version. Without a clear vision, a clear belief, people get tempted by shiny objects. Think about it. When your belief level in a company starts to get, I don't know if it's for me, I don't know if I can do this, all of a sudden, woo, you're looking at the next greatest thing, right? And so what are you doing? Going from thing to thing to thing versus having a clear vision of what you know to be your future. Same thing with relationships. Really good. You got a vision of the future. When the vision goes down, shiny objects start, maybe that wasn't the relationship for me. You have to have a vision that is so clear that your belief, Peyton has a belief that he's going to catch fish. He has a belief, he has a list of a woman of God that he's believing for his wife. He has a belief, a clear vision of the future. Well, then what happens after the conceptual stage is the stage where you begin to announce it. This is where you start to expect you're going to catch the fish. It's an expectancy. So what do? You say to the mountain, Mark 11:22, I think it says, you can say to this mountain, be thou removed, be thou cast into the sea. And if you believe and do not doubt, whatever you say will come to pass. Now, what is that? What is the mountain in your life? Maybe it's a rank you're trying to get to. Maybe it's a relationship you're trying to mend. Maybe it's something you're trying to manifest in your life. You've got to say it so you can see it. Now, here's the third thing I want to jump to is manifest. When you manifest, that's you got concept, expectation, reality. Now, I'm going to boil this down for you because that is in your business. You've got to believe it. You've got to speak to it. I am a senior vice president, circle of champion members, whatever the rank is for you. I am touching the four corners of the earth with Mission Possible book. You got to begin to say it, and then you've got to and announce it. You've got to believe it first, have a concept of it, expect it, and then you've got to work for it. You got to do whatever you're going to do. You may not have all the skills in the world. You may not have a fancy pole, but use the pole that's in your hand. Use what you've got. Use what you've been given. And you know what? God's not looking for people with fancy poles. He's not looking for pretty people. He's looking for people with powerful faith. You have an ability right now to begin to manifest. Let me show you how this works real quick as I close. In the beginning, now, if you don't believe everything I've said, that you've got to have a 1, 2, 3, bam spirit. You've got to see it. You got to believe it. You've got to speak to it. You've got to announce. That's why we talk about having daily recitations, that you speak to your vision, speak to your goal every day so that you can manifest it into reality. Here's what I'm going to take you all the way back to the beginning. Even before there were sun, moon, and stars. Watch how this. In the beginning, Genesis 1:1, God created the heavens and the earth. And the earth was without form and it was void. It was just basically like darkness. And it says the Spirit of God, this is all Genesis 1. If you don't have a Bible, Google it. Genesis 1. And God hovered, the Spirit of God hovered over the darkness, over the waters. Now think about this. There's nothing but darkness and water. There is no light. And then God said, let there be light. Light be. Now, what happened? Immediately it says, and there was light. But I want you to see something. First, even before light, there was a concept. God had something conceptually identified, a vision of what was about to be created or manifest in the world. You've got to have a vision. You've got to see it. You've got to believe it. You've got to have a concept of it. Then he spoke to it. He announced, let there be light. You've got to announce your future. You don't wait for your future to be delivered to you. You announce what you want for your spouse. You announce what you want in your kids. You want to speak. Don't tell them they're brats. Don't ever say that again. Say you are blessed and highly favored. You're such a good, I love you. You're so sweet. You're precious. Even when they're showing out, you've got to speak over the vision or the concept you have of the future. If your business is failing, don't speak, my business is struggling, I can't lose this weight. Begin to speak over your vision, over what you want to see. And then finally, so that you can manifest. Do you realize you've got Genesis 1, you've got Genesis 2 and 3, where he said, let there be light. But he had still not manifest the sun, the moon, and the stars. Not until all the way down into verse 13, 14, and 15 did he begin to say, and I'm going to say, let there be stars, let there be a sun, let there be a moon. Do you realize even God used this pattern for what he was creating? Whatever is the life that you remember, we're always talking about how to build or create a life and business you love. Why not follow the pattern that God used? Have a concept. Have a vision of what you want your business to look like, a vision of yourself walking across the stage, a vision of your children being strong and courageous, a vision of your marriage being mended, and then begin to speak to it, announce it, expect it. Expectancy is the breeding ground of the miraculous. You've got to expect it. How do you expect it? By speaking it. Even though it talks back to you, speak life over it. And then, all the way down in verse 13, 14, 15, begin to watch it come to reality. God had a concept and a declaration even over creation before the manifestation of the sun, the moon, and the stars. You may not have manifested that business that you love yet. You may not have a manifested perfection in your marriage yet. You may not see the manifestation of your children loving on you and caring for you, but don't give up. What do until the manifestation? You stay right here. Believe and announce. And you let your persistent consistency continue to believe and announce, believe and announce, Believe and announce. Believe and announce so that one day you will manifest into reality those things that you have seen and those things that you have said. I don't know what you're going through today, but I pray that this ministers to you. I pray that it speaks to you. You know, I am what you call a king priest. I am blessed to make profits and to build wealth in the marketplace. And I'm also blessed to have a knowledge and an understanding of a scripture to bring those two together for the marketplace to help you understand you can have a life and a business that you love. You can say 1, 2, 3, bam. And then if it doesn't happen right when you want to see it, believe, announce, believe, announce, believe, announce. And don't stop casting your bread upon the water, because soon it's going to come back home on every single wave. I look forward to being with you this week. Please go to staciwallace.com/mission-possible. Get the mission possible today. I'm looking forward to interacting. We've got a community. Once you buy the Bible study, you download it, you get access to the vault, you get access to the community, you get surrounded by great people, and I get to be your coach for the next 9 weeks. I'm excited about